We have huge breaking news. You have never seen a president move as quickly as you have seen Donald Trump move on what just happened with Colombia. The president refusing to accept their illegal migrants that came into our country. Within 30 minutes, Trump hit them with huge tariffs, huge sanctions, and within an hour, the Colombian president said, sorry, now we're sending over our presidential plane to go and pick up our illegal immigrants, guys. I got to show you the receipts right now. This all happened so quickly. U.S. President Trump suspends visa services in Colombia after President Gustavo Petro refused to allow deportation flights. He sent this. Trump did this. Says Colombia will face 25% tariffs. There was also a huge emergency, 25% emergency tariffs on all goods coming into the United States, a travel ban on immediate visa revocations from the Colombian government officials, visa sanctions, enhanced custom and border inspections for all Colombian nationals. Guys, it literally hit the fan. But this is what we saw, that within a span of 2 hours, not only did Colombia refuse to accept, Trump hit them, they poked the bear, and the bear came with everything in him. And Trump showed everybody in the entire world with this one statement, this one post: do not mess with the United States. Do not refuse to accept your illegal migrants, or you will face the fury and wrath of the United States and of Donald Trump. I cannot believe what has happened, guys. I want to show you all the details in a moment. It is nuts. Also, Trump has called out just after this that he is doing a full-scale audit on the Ukraine spending and funding of the Ukraine-Russia war, saying that he wants to know where every dollar has been spent, where did it go, and if there's any left, it's coming back to the United States, back to the taxpayer. And if they cannot comply with Trump's financial audits, then he will be holding Zelensky accountable for the missing money. We also now know, and this is confirmed, that NGOs, non-government organizations, were funneling billions of tax dollars to help illegal immigrants to get into the United States. Under Biden's NGOs, the NGOs became the middleman for his huge immigration into the United States, increasing exponentially and putting it all on the taxpayer dimes. On top of that, Trump has also announced that he intends to reassign the nearly 88,000 IRS agents that Biden added to the IRS whenever he came into office to be reassigned to do border patrol duties, or he's going to demand their resignation. Guys, we got a ton of breaking news to go over today. It is insane. I love it. We are putting America first for the first time in a long, long time. I want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button so I can take care of you with the top news. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button, everybody. It really does help so much with growing the channel. And thank you to all of our members of the channel. Appreciate y'all so much. The link is in the description to join the TrueLife News fam. And thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation and helping us give back to charity. It means the world to me, guys. I'm so excited about this next month that we will be announcing tomorrow what charity we're going to be giving to, guys. And I'm so excited. I want to say love you all. Appreciate you so much. Guys, they poked the bear with Trump. And I want to show you where it all started, where it all began. This is insane because Bongino has called it out, and now we're never going to be the same, but thank God for this. Check this out.
I want to thank some of the losers who made the mistake of poking the bear. Who's the bear? Donald Trump, of course, is the bear. I want to thank Barack Obama. We don't have Trump 1.0 or 2.0 without him. You doubt me? I want you to watch this Inside Edition clip from a little kind of mini scandal that happened years ago when Barack Obama thought he was a real wise and a funny guy, attacking at the time civilian Donald Trump for going after Obama. And one thing Donald Trump doesn't like is you try to embarrass him, Donald Trump's going to make you pay. And oh, he did. Check this out.
Is this the moment Donald Trump decided to run for president?
Donald Trump is here tonight.
The year was 2011. The place, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Trump and his wife Melania were guests at the glittering affair for the Washington elite. It started pleasantly enough. Trump got a friendly greeting from actress Scarlett Johansson. But inside, it was another story. President Obama started mocking Trump mercilessly, mainly for the role Trump was playing in the birther movement that questioned whether Obama was really born in America.
No one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
Obama didn't hide his utter disdain for the reality TV star.
Obviously, we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience. For example, no, seriously, just recently, in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night.
Thank you, B. Thank you, Barack. No, I'm serious. Barack Obama thought he was a real media. People like, hey, look at that stupid Donald Trump. Real estate empire, #1 TV show, manages $1 billion portfolio. What an idiot. I'd rather be Barack Obama, who was last time I checked, what was his job again, Michael? Yes, it was like nothing. Oh, no, come on. He was a community organizer. What does that mean? I don't know. People just make it up. That means when you go in for a job interview and there's the missing period in your resume, first you worked in fast food and then you had something else. Well, why were you not working for 3 years? I was organizing in the community. Do you have any witnesses? No, I don't. That was Barack Obama. So Barack Obama thought it'd be a good idea to poke the bear. Poke him. Don't poke Donald Trump, folks. I'm going to tell you right now. Do not. I'm warning you, media people and everyone else. You poke this guy, I promise you he will get the last laugh. You want to talk about a guy who lives by the axiomatic language alert, axiomatic truth, around and find out. You are now in the find out phase. By the way, you see those pens he was throwing out? This is the one he used in his first term to sign the build the wall thing. He gave it to me and my family. Sorry, that was like, look at me, I'm so cool. I have no excuse. I shouldn't have, but it is true. It's my prized possession. I love this thing. It sits right there. I look at it every day. I know, that was lame. I shouldn't have said that. It's like talking about your education. Jasmine doesn't know a lot of the golden rules yet. Guys, what's the rule about talking about your education? If you're talking about your education and telling people your degrees, tell everyone in the chat, tell Jasmine, you're probably in, right? Nobody cares that you've got an MBA, or nobody cares, okay? So there's my first thank you, Barack Obama. My second thank you, in no particular order, even though it may look as much, is Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have forgotten this story, but it's an important one. We would not have Donald Trump being martyred by a weaponized justice system. And honestly, I'm not sure he runs again. I can't prove it counterfactual. Hold on, I'm explaining this poorly. Rewind the tape. I hate when I do that. I've got a job to get you the show precisely and succinctly. I'm honestly not sure after the 2016 assault on Donald Trump, the collusion hoax and all this stuff, that if they don't go after him using the justice system, that he just doesn't ride off into the sunset. I don't know. He could have made himself $1 billion. He still had a lot of political capital. People loved him. He could have given speeches. He could have ran all his companies. But the fact that they turned the government against him,
100%,
I think made him say, I'm not tolerating this. I'm going to go in there and clean this mess up. But a lot of you forget that this whole thing started with Mike Flynn. General Mike Flynn, don't ever forget this. General Mike Flynn was one of Donald Trump's first appointments in 2016 as the National Security Advisor. I want you to listen to this closely. General Flynn wrote a manifesto. Most people don't know this. Absolutely decimating the intelligence community for all of their failures, saying, you guys are not getting it right. We're going to fix this. The intelligence community, remember Chuck Schumer? Remember what he said to Rachel Maddow? Jim, pull this for the radio show. He told Rachel Maddow, don't go after the intelligence community. They'll get you 6 different ways from Sunday. The IC said, no way Mike Flynn is going to be the national security advisor, so they had to take him out. Here's the thing. I'll wrap it up. They had no way to take Mike Flynn out because he'd done nothing wrong. So what happened? They made it up. They said, we're going to charge him with the Logan Act, something never successfully charged in American history, a basically made-up crime because Mike Flynn, they said, contacted the Russian ambassador, which is ridiculous. John Kerry went and visited Bashar al-Assad. Whose idea was it to charge Mike Flynn with a made-up, fabricated crime never successfully charged in United States history? Put it up on the screen, please, Daddy.
Joe Biden.
Oh, yes. One Joseph R. Biden. Joe Biden may have personally raised the idea to investigate Mike Flynn. A partially blacked out copy of FBI agent Peter Strzok's notes attached to the filing includes a mention that appears to say VP, Logan Act. Round of applause for Joe Biden.
You poked the bear,
Thank you,
baby.
Joe. You and Barack, if it wasn't for you, we don't have Trump 2.0. I'm telling you, we don't. He may have reevaluated his entire career choice. But because you decided to go after him this way, you poked the bear. And the bear bites and scratches, and it hurts.
Guys, single-handedly, we literally have evidence that we can show you that if it wasn't for Barack Obama, wasn't for Joe Biden, Trump probably wouldn't have run. But I want to say, guys, there is over 1,000 people watching. Thank y'all so much. If you haven't hit the thumbs up like button, please do so, guys. It really does help so much. Y'all are so amazing. I wanted to say this, guys. After President Trump slammed Colombia with sanctions, Colombia President Gustavo Petro now says he will be sending the presidential plane to pick up deportees from the U.S. per CNN. That didn't take long. Why? Because it all happened within 1 hour, everybody. Within 1 hour of Trump posting this post saying, I was just informed that 2 repatriation flights from the United States, repatriation flights from the United States with a large number of illegal criminals were not allowed into the land of Colombia. This order was given by the Colombia president, who is already unpopular, but Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States. Thank you for speaking like a president. So I have directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures: emergency 25% tariffs, travel ban, and immediate visa revocations on the Colombian government officials. Visa sanctions on all party members, family members, and supporters of the Colombian government. Enhanced custom and border protection. IEEPA, treasury, banking, and financial sanctions to be fully imposed. These measures are just the beginning. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligation with regard to the acceptance and return of the criminals they forced into the United States. You want to know what a president does? He smacks them around and says, that's how the United States handles things. You're going to take back your criminals, and you're going to do it the right way. And what I love is that this is just the beginning, guys. Just the beginning. Listen to this of what is about to happen next.
More executive orders, more executive actions. Flood the zone. They're back on their feet. They're discombobulated. They don't know where to turn. MSM is a disaster. The tell was the confirmation hearings. They have nothing. Marco Rubio is talking about what we're going to do in deconstructing the post-war international rules-based order. No response from the Democrats. Scott Bessent does something very smart. The first time, he knows 10 times more than those guys on the Senate side. The first guy that tries to be a wise guy, Senator Wyden of Oregon, with the tariffs, Scott readjusts the glasses, professorial very decently, blows him up and looks like a ridiculous, stupid freshman handing in a paper he got an F on. And Biden bleating at them, well, that's not the way I see it. Not one other tough question. Shut them up. Because you know why? They're all about the performance art. They're saying, I ain't going to tangle with this guy. No way. That's how you have to handle it. That's being on offense. This is for Elon. you have a mandate, you have a lane. It's a super highway. You have the Autobahn. And you are needed with all your smarts and all your intelligence and all your brilliant engineering thinking, which you are obviously the Edison of our age. There's not going to be any more CRs. We have to do it. We have to do it now. These appropriation bills. We need the $1 trillion. It has to be, because everything you see in this budget thing is more happy talk. And I've been telling guys even on our side, hey, I'm not going to tolerate it. I don't want to hear about conservative wins and I said $3 trillion. $3 trillion that starts in year 5 and 7. It's not relevant. There's only two things that are relevant. This fiscal year we're in, I want to see what the number is. If it's $100 billion, that's fine. Just give me the number. So then we can argue about the scale of the problem. I need the number, and I need it for this year, period, 0, and I need next year's. After that, nothing matters. It's not relevant. Oh, but you got to plan 10 years. No, this is the game they play. This was McCarthy. Remember, McCarthy came back with $4 trillion of cuts, all in the out years. I need to know what's cutting out. That's what Doge.
100%.
And I'm disturbed because the New York Times reports they got this thing digital and they're looking for it. I don't need the government rewired right now. We need it restructured right now.
Ooh.
We can rewire later. Yes, that's probably important to get advanced technologies, but we need to see at least what you got to give us the opening bid, because this town's just not going to sit there and go, this is wonderful, $1 trillion out. You understand the firestorm that's going to cause? And we need that. You need to draw the fire. We need to see where the different camps are. We need to see what the structure of their argument is. Because now we have to have a national debate about this topic. What's the size of it? What's the scale of it? How do we afford it? Who benefits? We have to be adults in this. We're going to drive it. You're the adults in the room. Trump put you in the room, and he put you at the head of the table of the creditors committee. And that's what we're talking about now. It's a creditors committee. This is a restructuring. He's got a new economic model that makes the External Revenue Service, and to get through the golden door, you got to pay a toll. You've seen that already, and particularly as the resistance, as they get their sea legs in back of them in the courts and gathering opposition forces. That's going to happen. That's just process. That's the statics and dynamics of critical path. It's fine. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to have days that look like they don't work out. But in the last 2 days, it perfectly works out. And you can see, and you can raise it up and say, I see it. I got it. And he's in a Zen moment. It's so natural. It's like when you play sports. When you're not thinking about your jump shot or how you throw the ball or your golf swing or your tennis, when you're just in the flow, that's that Zen moment when your conscious mind is out and it's all coming from a deeper place. That's Trump.
Trump is in his
That's
prime
Trump.
right now.
Right now. And one of the reasons he can do that, he's got confidence of the people around him.
Yep.
It's one of the reasons I've made this big deal about Elon the last couple of days. Elon's been given a mandate that no individual in the history of this republic has been given vis-a-vis the federal apparatus. Before, from Jefferson all the way, every time they come in, if you read the history of it, Jackson, they're all saying, this thing's too big, we got to cut some guy. Even FDR, which was to power it up, to pull a gain of function and power it up, never really thought through they were slapping things there. They even admit, the alphabet agencies, they were throwing stuff up on the wall to see what stuck. And remember, everything they did not get us out of the Great Depression. It was going to full military production, whole of society military production that pulled us out of the Great Depression, just like Hitler had done it earlier. Whole of society rearmament pulled Germany out of that horrific financial collapse they had. Because every financial crisis leads to fundamental change. Great Depression, you got FDR.
Yep.
The hyperinflation in the Weimar Republic led to Hitler. The collapse in 2008 because the established order only took care of themselves and had a set of policies that just concentrated wealth led to Trump. And populist nationalism was always there, but actually brought to the forefront. And now expanding. Expanding where? Let me pick a random thing. Oh, Las Vegas, Nevada. I always thought, given the composition of union, composition of demographic, in the Harry Reid machine, and trust me, as much as this audience could not stand Harry Reid, that brother had a machine, okay? Had a machine. He could the counts would always come out Harry's way. And that's been shattered by Trump. Been totally shattered by Trump.
100%, baby. Guys, we are seeing Trump, the lion, the bear is coming out, guys. But what we're also seeing is the truth, guys. I'm bringing you the receipts. Check this out. Turns out nonprofits weren't just helping migrants. They were funding the crisis. NGOs funneled billions of tax dollars into illegal immigration under Biden. Guys, this is prompting a lot of investigations. Again, Trump said he literally said Biden has a big problem. He didn't pardon himself. Not only is these groups took billions of dollars in taxpayer money, but they literally used that to fly them in, to allow them to come over, and this was all done under Biden. The NGOs became the middleman of Biden's illegal immigration into the country, over 20 million people. But guess what? Trump is fixing it. Leading report this morning, guys. Trump administration, I'm sorry, not this morning. This was just moments ago. Trump administration has directed ICE officials to ramp up arrests to at least 1,200 to 1,500 per day because the president is disappointed with the results so far per WAPO. Guys, Trump is not going to be happy until he gets 100% America is safe as it can be. And guys, there was a interview that was released with Vance. You cannot make up the idiotic way that a lot of the Democrats are trying to justify that it is okay to have criminal immigrants in the United States. Listen to this.
When you talked to us in August, you said, I don't think we should abandon anybody who's been properly vetted and helped us. Do you stand by that?
Well, Margaret, I don't agree that all these immigrants or all these refugees have been properly vetted. In fact, we know that there are cases of people who allegedly were properly vetted and then were literally planning terrorist attacks on our country. That happened during the campaign, if you may remember. So clearly not all of these foreign nationals
but there are
have been properly
30,000
vetted.
people in the pipeline, Afghan refugees.
But my primary
Do you stand by
concern
it?
as the vice president, Margaret, is to look after the American people. And now that
So
we
no.
know that we have vetting problems with a lot of these refugee programs, we absolutely cannot unleash thousands of unvetted people into our country.
These
It's
people are
not
vetted.
good.
These people are vetted.
Just like the guy who planned a terrorist attack in Oklahoma a few months ago, he was allegedly properly vetted. And many people in the media and the Democratic Party said that he was properly vetted. Clearly he wasn't. I don't want my children to share a neighborhood with people who are not properly vetted. And because I don't want it for my kids, I'm not going to force any other American citizens' kids to do that either.
No, and that was a very particular case. It wasn't clear if he was radicalized when he got here or while he was living here.
I don't really care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with me.
Well, this is a country founded by immigrants.
Well, this is a country
This is a
founded
unique
by
country.
This is a very unique country, and it was founded by some immigrants and some settlers. But just because we were founded by immigrants doesn't mean that 240 years later that we have to have the dumbest immigration policy in the world.
Guys, do you not love it? These people cannot handle somebody who says, you know what? We're putting America first. Sorry. I don't care about these illegal criminals. I care about my kids and your kids and keeping them safe. And she doesn't know what to say. She's over there smiling like a joker. But guys, this week is such a big week. We got the cabinet confirmation hearings for Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Kash Patel. We need more of Trump's people to continue coming in so that they can bring the change that's needed. Because if we do not get the change, guys, we are going to always be where we're at, and that is not an America First agenda. Guys, I want to say, guys, y'all are doing so amazing. We have over 1,400 people watching. Guys, thank y'all so much. If you haven't hit the thumbs up like button, guys, please do so. It really helps the channel out so much. But I want to say, who's going to make a big difference, guys? It's the money. It's always going to go back to the money, the reconciliation package that has to be passed. And we've got an update for you from the Senate Majority Leader. Check this out.
Next guest coming up, the new confirmed director of the CIA, John Ratcliffe, who we will get to shortly. Tell us what you're expecting in moving President Trump's agenda with these new confirmations.
Well, we need them in place, Maria. I think, as you know, in order to implement that agenda, you've got to have new leadership in those departments and agencies. And, of course, we're starting with the national security positions, which are critically important with everything that's going on in the world and everything that's going on at our southern border, which is why it was important that we get Governor Noem in at DHS. But as we move forward, we've got Treasury, Bessent coming up, Sean Duffy at DOT, a whole bunch more that we're teeing up to get done. And it's just really important that they get in place, Maria, because, you know, you have a window of time. This doesn't come along all that often and sometimes doesn't last that long. And so we want to make sure the president has his team in place so he's able to deliver on the agenda that he talked with the American people about and that they voted for in November.
Yeah, I'd like to look ahead to the confirmation hearings coming up, but I'm glad you mentioned timing. Because, Senator, why haven't we seen more confirmations sooner? It certainly feels like the 53 Senate majority Republicans are allowing the 47 Senate minority Democrats to confirm the confirmation hearing process. Is that right?
Well, actually, we're ahead of schedule. We're going back to what is the Obama standard. Obama got 12 of his cabinet nominees through in 15 days. It took Trump 43 days to get his first 12 through back in 2017. So we are pushing hard, and obviously there are constraints that are imposed by the rules of the Senate. The minority in the Senate has ways that can slow things down and drag it out. But we're actually, at the current point, ahead of the Obama standard. And so we're going to keep moving aggressively, moving quickly, forcing people to stay and to take votes on weekends, which we did this weekend. And we'll get them in place as quickly as we possibly can. But we are on the schedule that we laid out, and one that I think enables these folks to get through the process in time to deliver for the president, for the American people.
Okay, terrific. President Trump and the First Lady, of course, visiting storm-hit North Carolina and fire-ravaged Los Angeles, pledging to help. Tell me about that. How much aid are you expecting to commit to the California wildfires, and how did that change the conversation and the plans on your upcoming reconciliation?
Well, we just did, as you know, a big package for North Carolina before the end of the year, and so we've sort of refilled the FEMA account, and we'll see what the request comes in from California. But obviously, the Trump team will have to vet that, determine what they want to ask Congress for in terms of resources. And I suspect there's going to be a lot of scrutiny given to make sure that we're doing this in a way that is responsive to the need in California, but also responsive and responsible to the American taxpayer. So we'll take a look at that. What can ride on that, we will see. Obviously, we have to finish up all the spending bills from last year because the Democrats left us with that mess. We have a pile up at the end of the year. We haven't even funded, FY25, which we're currently in the middle of. And then we've got the fiscal year 26 budget. We got reconciliation, which is the vehicle that enables us to get a lot of things, the things that we want to get done on energy, on the economy, on the border, on military readiness. Those are all things that are sitting ahead of us here, Maria, and we're going to work aggressively to get it all done. But it's not obviously going to be easy, and how it all gets packaged together is still something that we are discussing with the president and his team and with our colleagues in the House of Representatives.
So would the conversation change with the amount of money needed for Los Angeles? President Trump the other day said the California wildfires changed everything.
I think that it did, and obviously it's a timing issue, and we have a lot of stuff, as I said, stacked up. We have a March 14th deadline that if we don't fund the government for this current year that we're in, the government shuts down. We got the reconciliation hanging out there. We got a debt limit we've got to deal with, and so how we piece it together and put it together is a subject of conversation right now, but I can assure you one thing: we will be working together as a team in a unified way to make sure that we deliver for the American people, address the needs that are out there in some of these really disaster-damaged areas, but also make sure that we're addressing the concerns the American taxpayers have about the amount of spending in Washington, D.C. in these last few years under Biden and Harris, and getting us on a different fiscal track.
Absolutely. And of course,
guys, I want to say this too. Right now, California is waiting to get federal aid from the federal government in the terms of tens of billions of dollars. Guys, Trump said they're not getting any money unless they put voter ID laws. I promise you, if California institutes voter ID laws, the very next election, California will be red. Mark my words, guys. There's that much, I believe, corruption in that state. Let me know your thoughts.
That includes the tax policy part of this as well.
Right.
Let me get your take on the appropriate offsets that you would consider. Given now you've got some of your colleagues saying, I cannot vote for the tax portion of whether it's a funding bill or a reconciliation bill unless an increase in the SALT deduction is included.
Right, and the so-called SALT caucus is, pressing hard to obviously get a change in that. We're looking at, in the context of tax reform in the big package, obviously extending the current existing tax law, some other things that the president's talked about, and hopefully a reconciliation bill will also include a significant amount of spending cuts, among other things, energy policy, all things border policy that we want to get done through reconciliation, which enables us in the Senate to do it at a 51 vote majority instead of 60, which is what the more typical scenario is in the Senate. But all those things are going to have to be packaged together. And I guess my hope is that as we move through this process, we will do it in a way that enables us to get all the votes that we need in the House of Representatives, and it's a narrow margin there, including the SALT caucus on board with whatever it is we do. But we need to make sure that we are delivering on for the American people and preventing what will be a $4.5 trillion tax increase next year if we don't act by the end of the year. So we are on task on that, and moving forward, how we do it is still a matter of conversation.
Are you
guys? Let me tell you this: it is huge. You just heard them. If we do not get things in place with the Trump tax cuts, $4.5 trillion of tax increases on the American people is going to happen. That's why they're trying to move as quickly as possible. Guys, I wanted to show you some amazing news, guys. Within 1 week, the Biden administration couldn't do this, guys. I'm bringing you some amazing news right now. This just got released yesterday. The Trump administration has allegedly located between 75 to 80,000 of the 300,000 missing migrant children, according to the Harris Faulkner of Fox News. I just want to give some thanks to that, because those children don't deserve to be missing, and it was all under the Biden administration, but Trump's big focus is to find them. I also want to give some shout outs to Joyce Massa for the super chat. Let's go. And Mr. Tracy J. Norby with the super chat. He says, maybe 1,400 watching, but not enough likes. If we can get to 900 likes, I'll donate $200. All right, guys, you heard him, guys. So if you're watching, guys, it's so amazing. We got almost 1,400 people watching. If you haven't hit the thumbs up like button, guys, please do so. It really helps out so much. Also, thank you, What's New, for the super chat. Said, this is MAGA in action. Lay Lewis with the super chat said, I'm looking forward to going to the store without being sneaked up on by all these crazy people. And thank you so much, Maria Winter, for the super chat. Guys, y'all show them some love in the chat. Y'all are so amazing. We've got such amazing news, guys. I want to show you this as well. This is huge that this is happening at this time. Trump's deputies restart the border wall. We not only got this image, they're 100% on it. We've also got where ICE has released a statement by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement saying the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, along with the federal partners, including the FBI, ATF, DEA, CBP, and the U.S. Marshal Service, began conducting enhanced targeted operations today in Chicago to enforce U.S. immigration law and preserve public safety and national security by keeping potentially dangerous criminal aliens out of our communities, guys. This is beautiful news. We are finally seeing a priority being put on the American people in such a blatant way that you cannot make this up. And what I love is that Tom Homan is giving us so much transparency into what is happening. Check this out.
The White House releasing video today showing Marines and our military might arriving to fix this massive self-inflicted wound that we've been suffering through for the last 4 years. And the border czar, Tom Homan, joins us here tonight. And sir, it's good to have you back on. I want to start, what specifically is our military doing at the border? What are the Marines doing at the border today?
Look, they're force multipliers. They're down there. They're putting up infrastructure. They're putting up barriers and razor wire to impede and deny illegal entry to the United States. So I've done this for 34 years, and the images of illegal aliens boarding a DOD flight heading south is the first. So President Trump's taking his promise and fulfilling it. We're going to secure that border, and DOD needs to be there because this is the biggest national security vulnerability I've seen in this nation since 9/11. So DOD has the right place to be there. They're force multiplier. They're going to help us secure that border as quick as possible.
Are you satisfied with the pace of how quickly you're able to make big changes at the border? I mean, are you noticing a big difference just in these first 4 days?
I've never seen anything like this before. I mean, it's amazing how all the government, Department of State, DOD, CBP, ICE, all working together in unison. Look, ICE has already arrested just shy of 2,000 people in the United States. We've removed 6,400 deportation this week. So between CBP and ICE, are doing a great job. It's an all-government approach that President Trump promised, and it's working well. As we continue the operation, we'll continue to ramp it up. We'll open that aperture. Right now, we're concentrating on public safety threats and national security threats, but we'll get it to fugitives. We'll start opening that aperture up, so you're going to see the numbers continually increase.
The numbers of deportations will continue to increase.
The number of arrests in the interior United States will continue to increase, which, since we've ended catch and release and we're beginning to remain in Mexico, you're going to see removals of interior enforcement arrests, but less removals from the border because we're going to simply deny and impede them.
I asked you this a few months ago, but I think even before it was after the election was won because you had been made the border czar. So it was during the transition. But the idea of even, I mean, there's millions that have come in.
Yep.
Is it even possible to purge millions of people from a country?
Well, look, it depends on the funding we get from Congress. I mean, we can do more with. The more money we had, the more resources we buy. The more money we had, the more beds we buy. The more money we have, the more agents we put on the street. The more money we have, we can fund more flights south. So it really depends on the funding we need from Congress, and I hope they act quickly. I think the American people voted for President Trump. This is the mandate: is immigration, securing the border is #1 issue. I'm hoping Congress fulfills that obligation quickly and give us the money we need to do this job. We're dealing right now with the money that we currently have. It's not a lot. We need more money, but we're going to make every dollar count, every penny count. And if you see the results, I think the results are amazing the first 4 days. And like I said, we're at about 2,000 arrests in interior, and that's not counting today's numbers. We're probably closer to 2,500 in a single week. And this is mainly criminals and public safety threats, which is what President Trump promised.
These are the worst people. Yeah, the worst first. Yeah. We've seen the details. I mean, I've read the details of some of the people that you have arrested this week, and it's heinous. I mean, child molesters and just despicable people that are off the streets of this country, which I think has got to be a sigh of relief for anybody that is sensible that lives in this country. And we have new video today of men being turned around, deported, walking right back across the border south. We've got these images of this, I don't know what jet that is, what massive military jet that is, but these are some of the arrests that you have made, and I assume just this week being put on that jet, is that right?
Oh yeah, we just started our flights, and like I said, I started immigration enforcement as border patrol in 1984. The images of illegal aliens getting on these DOD flights is the first I've seen in my entire career, so this is a game changer. And what's really sad, the Biden administration could have been doing this. They could have arrested those child molesters. They could have arrested the murderers and rapists, but they didn't. They could have done what we did. We have secured the border in a matter of days. President Trump's already had Mexico coming to the table. We have Canada coming to the table.
Guys, listen to that. He said we secured the southern border in a matter of days. That's what, I tell you what, Biden needs to, I feel like there is some treasonous act that Biden did with the border that he needs to be held accountable to.
He's got other countries willing to take, Venezuelan gang members. That if Venezuela don't take them, so President Trump's a game changer. And what I've seen so far is amazing. When I saw the images last night of illegal aliens getting on flights, I was like, wow. Yeah. And this, we made this happen in a matter of 3 days.
It shows you just how, in my opinion, how treasonous what they did to the border was. And they sat there and claimed over and over, Mayorkas under oath, saying the border is secure. They were lying. They were destroying the country, and they were lying. And they went against the oath that they gave. I want to ask one final question. The Pope this week said that it's a disgrace what we're now doing with this new government, deporting all of these people. We've got, obviously there's going to be a lot of media searching for the sad stories here, trying to turn public opinion against this operation. What's your message to the American people as you guys do this work?
Well, let me give a message to the Pope guy. I'm a lifelong Catholic. I was born Catholic. I've been through Catholic doctrine. Look, he only concentrates on fixing the Catholic Church, first of all. He's got big problems there. And in the Vatican, they have a wall around the Vatican. If you illegally enter the Vatican, the crime is serious. You'll be charged with a serious crime, be jailed.
Yeah.
So he can protect the Vatican where he lives. He can build a wall where he lives. Where American people are not allowed that? No. Securing the border saves lives. He needs to understand that. When we secure the border, when less people come, less women get raped by the cartel, less children die in the river, less Americans die from fentanyl overdoses. He ought to stick to it. He ought to stick to the Catholic Church and fix that. That's a mess.
That's exactly right.
Guys, I love it, dude. Homan calling out the Pope, and he's right. They've got stuff over them, and they've got around the Vatican. They got protection and whatnot. If they're going to be protected, then we should be able to protect America just as well. Mr. Tracy J. Norby with the super chat. Let's go. He said, I do as I say, brother. Thank you all for being the TrueLife family. Let's go, y'all MAGA. Guys, y'all show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. We got over 1,000 likes, got over 1,500 people watching, guys. Such a blessing. If you haven't hit the thumbs up like button, guys, please do so. It really does help out so much. We couldn't do this without you. And thank you so much, Stephen Morgan, for the super chat. Y'all show Stephen some love in the chat. Guys, we got the best chat on YouTube, and it's only going to keep getting better. It's only going to keep growing. What's new? Thank you so much for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. If you got a membership from What's New, y'all show What's New some love in the chat. Guys, this is huge right here. Trump calls for a full audit of Ukraine funding. Why? Because we've sent over $200 billion to this country that prior to the Ukraine-Russia war was actually known for corruption, known for money, just peddling, you name it. That's where Biden's son Hunter was working at a company at a very high position where he didn't even have any experience with. And I love it too because a lot of people are starting to put the eyes on this and say, you know what? We've got a president who can actually enforce this and is not afraid to call these people out. We know. And what I love too, guys, the media knows that they're at their end. Listen to this, guys, because more stuff is being uncovered about the Biden administration and them colluding with media to try to take Trump down. Check this out.
So it's amazing to me that over 20 years after the Iraq War, its architects and supporters are still not fully in control of America's foreign policy, but certainly influential in it. And it's shocking to me that 2 months after Trump's landslide victory, a race in which he ran against the neocons are still brazen enough to try and influence and sabotage his nominations.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Kind of fixated on their enablers, their agents in the American news media. And one of them has been working for years on their behalf, on behalf of permanent Washington, the foreign policy establishment, every bad idea, is Jennifer Griffin at Fox, the Pentagon reporter, who is now, basically texting Domino. Is that the?
Michael Domino.
Yeah, is, running around on behalf of, her sources at the Pentagon, doing their bidding, trying to torpedo these guys because the permanent staff doesn't want to be challenged on anything. And okay, there's a role for that kind of behavior. It's called lobbying, but it's a little crazy that like a supposed news reporter would be acting like that. I'm not guessing. This is a fact. She's doing that right now and has been doing that kind of thing for as long as I've been paying attention, like a couple decades. How does that continue?
Yeah, I don't know her personally, but what I will say is the role of most Pentagon reporters has always struck me since I've done this as extremely hierarchical. I mean,
what do you mean by hierarchical?
It almost felt like the reporters worked for the Pentagon.
Well, of course they.
Yeah. So I mean, and in any place that I've worked that had a Pentagon correspondent, and that was the only way you stayed in the room, and.
Isn't this a democracy? where we have civilian command of the armed forces and the entire federal government works for the population of the country, its voters, its citizens, its constituents, shareholders, no. There's no sense of that whatsoever in Washington at all.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing here?
I think it's fast moving. I mean, you didn't see criticisms or skepticisms of the military from the right until the very last few years, including from the new president, including from organs of conservative media. I think it started with Mark Milley, but also all the sort of
some of us were at it before.
Troy, I know, but in public opinion,
it was considered a fringe position.
It's not fringe. Yeah.
You know, I just refer you back to the pivot point in American politics in my lifetime, which was the 2016 debate in Greenville, South Carolina, where Donald Trump, home of the highest percentage of military veterans of any state, famously, and Donald Trump came out against the Iraq War, and all the dumbos at the channel I work for and in Washington are like, oh, he's lost it now. He'll never get the nomination. He's offended all the veterans. And of course, all the guys whose lives were destroyed fighting these wars, not on behalf of the United States, not to the benefit of the United States, they were filled with many emotions, frustration, shame, rage, sadness, and they immediately knew what he was talking about. And no one in D.C. knew.
I think he overperformed his polling. So like he was polling at a certain, he was ahead, and the Bush family came in. That's when it was the last stand for Mr. Jeb in February of 2016, and George W. Bush campaigned finally for Jeb, and it was like, we got to keep him in the race. We're going to make our stand, and he did the big fat mistake that is Iraq debate, and I think Trump was up 10 or 15. I think he won by over 20 in that debate. Don't quote me on that, but it was something like that. It was
right before the primary.
It was
there.
Over the polling. So like, not only did he not go down and still won, he went up and then clearly triumphed.
That was the moment when I was just, whatever his flaws, I was for Trump, because here was a guy telling a real truth, a hard truth that no one wanted him to tell, and was rewarded for it. And I just felt like that's consistent with my principles and beliefs, which is you ought to tell the truth. And a healthy country rewards people who tell the truth, not people who lie.
Guys,
so
how amazing is that? That again, too, looking back right now, Pete Hegseth, who just got confirmed as the Secretary of Defense, is doing a major financial audit on the Pentagon. They have failed 7 audits the past 7 years. They can't account for the almost $1 trillion that the taxpayers have given them almost every single year. And now that's about to come to an end because Trump says, and Pete Hegseth say, we've got too many corrupt leaders that are just taking advantage of general contractors, their friends, and that money needs to go back to the American people. And who else is about to get hit in the face with some Trump just swag, guys? That is the IRS. Trump's announcement about firing almost all the IRS agents and repurposing them as Border Patrol agents instead, guys. Right here, we're going to show you where President Trump announces that he intends to reassign 88,000 IRS agents to Border Patrol duties or demand their resignation. Want to say thank you so much, Roger Decker, first time super chat. Let's go. He said, TLN, the best news channel on YouTube. Thank you, Joel, for your dedication and hard work to bring us the up-to-date truth. God bless you. God bless you, Roger. And thank you so much, Paul Triggs said, oh, whoa. It's okay, guys. It just disappeared over here, but I got it over here too. Paul Triggs said, how good is this new Republican team? Get on board or step aside. Trump on fire. Let's go. I love it. Y'all show Paul Triggs and Roger Decker some love in the chat. And guys, what I love too is that we're just constantly, Trump is just giving it to us in terms of just, this is the promises I gave, and this is the promises that I'm keeping to put America first. Check this out.
But since I became the 47th president at noon on Monday, I've been moving with urgency and historic speed to fix every single calamity of the Biden administration that they've created. And this week alone, I took nearly 350 executive actions to reverse the horrible failures and betrayals that we inherited from a group of people that didn't know what the hell they were doing, what they've done to this country, especially the open borders, where they have Think of it, 21 million people came in. Many of them are criminals, murderers. Well, we're getting them out. You see it. You see it yesterday, first day. Our message could not be more clear. America's decline is over. American decline is over. We're laughed at all over the world. Now we're not laughed at anymore, I'll tell you. What the world witnessed this week is nothing less than a revolution of wealth creation for everyone and also common sense. It's about common sense. It really is. We're the party of common sense. Every single day of my term, we're living by the motto, promises made, promises kept. I kept my promises. It's why we won. It really is why we won. We won because of the past 4 years. We won because of that. But this is going to blow it away. Because when I came in, I had no experience. I didn't do this before. I never did this. I was never a politician before. I was talking J.D. Vance. By the way, hasn't he done a great job?
Let's go.
Because J.D. went right to the Senate, and then he went to the vice president and said, J.D., you're really upwardly mobile. He said, you're more so than me. I said, why do you say that? He said, you went from being a real estate developer to the president. That's a pretty big, I never thought of it that way. I guess I'm the most upwardly mobile politician in history. I didn't make any stops along the way. It will be the greatest honor of my life to serve not once, but twice, or 3 times, or 4 times now.
Guys, the media's having a field day over this. Our 3rd or 4th times, 3rd term, 4th term. Guys, could you imagine they make an amendment and Trump runs for a 3rd term as president? Let me know your thoughts. Would you vote for him?
Headlines from the fake news. Now it will be to serve twice. For the next 4 years, I will not rest, I will not yield, and together we will not fail. We will win, win, win. We will bring back the American dream. We're going to bring it back. You know, in recent years, our nation has suffered greatly, but we are going to make it great again, greater than ever before. We'll be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. That's what we're doing, and that's what it's all about. And you see that. I think you see it more in the last week than you've seen it in years.
Yes.
And I walked up the stairs of that massive plane that's waiting for me, that big 747, and I said, there's no way I'm going to let myself fall, because that was one hell of a... That triple fall was a disaster. I would call that a political disaster. You can fall once, you can fall twice, but you can't fall 3 times.
Guys, how amazing, guys. I love it. We're seeing such a change in just the whole outcome of where things are going. Listen to this.
On day 1, I immediately halted the hiring of any new IRS agents. You know, they hired or tried to hire 88,000 new workers to go after you, and we're in the process of developing a plan to either terminate all of them or maybe we'll move them to the border. I think we're going to move them to the border.
Guys, how insane is that? So Biden puts 88,000 new IRS agents to go after more of your money. Trump's like, no, let's use 88,000 more people to actually protect the American people of the United States of America. Guys, I just love this so much. Trump is kicking butt. His team is kicking butt. We've got 3 huge confirmations this week with RFK. We've got RFK, Kash Patel, and Tulsi Gabbard. So we're going to be keeping you up to date, guys. Want to say thank you so much. We've got almost 1,600 people watching, guys. If you haven't hit the thumbs up like button, guys, please do so. It really does help. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so I can take care of you every day with the top news, guys. Monday through Friday, 2 shows a day, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. We've got so much breaking news this week. We're going to make sure you are informed and taken care of when it comes to the top news. And I just want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel. Y'all are so amazing. If you want to be a member, the link is in the description to join. And thank you to everybody who has given a super chat donation. We are so excited for where things are going. And I want to give some shout outs to Joyce Massa, Mr. Tracy J. Norby, What's New, Lay Lewis, Maria Winther, Stephen Morgan, What's New, Roger Decker, Paul Triggs, Shelly, thank you so much for the super chat. B1 Sly One, thank you so much for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. If you got a membership from B1 Sly One, show B1 Sly One some love in the chat. Guys, y'all are so wonderful, and me and my family are so grateful to serve you every day with the top news. We want to continue growing this community. We want to make sure that we bring the truth and show you things you normally don't see on mainstream media, and just so that as things are breaking, you are informed with the truth. We are here to serve you. So again, guys, this next, tomorrow we'll be announcing the new charity we're going to be giving to in this next month of February, and then I'll be releasing the video later tonight over what we gave in January to a children's home to help out kids that don't have families, that don't have anybody. But this, it's called Tupelo Mansion. They bring in all these kids and even kids that have brothers and sisters. They make sure to find them good homes, take care of them, love them. And I just want to say thank you for all your support. And we just want to continue bringing good into this world. And again, right now, guys, I've got my working with the people for the merchandise of the channel, and I'm so excited about that, guys. I think you're gonna love it. The designs that have come out. Let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. I think these look pretty amazing. We're gonna be selling these on the channel. We're gonna be giving a portion of this to charity, again, because that's just what we're about. But these shirts are going to be made of premium material. I'm going to make sure that even the printing is premium. These shirts are going to last a very long time, top quality, and we want to do the best that we can in everything that we do. But I love y'all. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.